Our next panelist is Bisi Osundeko. And Bisi was the first councillor in St Helens, elected from an immigrant background. She's also a successful entrepreneur, winning the Mumsclubs Awards for being among the top 100 business mums in the UK. And she's a published author. So over to you now, Bisi.
Thank you so much, Mariana. Thank you. Yeah, it's really fantastic for me to be able to contribute to this discussion, because as an immigrant, I feel that my lived experiences might be slightly different to some of the other speakers, knowing full well that a core part of my upbringing actually happened in Nigeria. And whilst I came into the UK to study for my master's, I feel that that was still a defining moment in my upbringing, because I'd never left home up until that moment, and then came to the UK studying and then dating and every other thing, sort of like growing up, if you know what I mean, more of like a transition from like an adult. I was living with my parents to an adult. I was living on my own. I have to say that when Martin was speaking, I actually felt quite emotional, because I really try my best not to relive what I saw. You know, the video where George actually died is a sort of video that, okay, I sort of saw a picture and I said, oh, this is another violent sort of arrest or something. And I didn't want to watch it, because I tried to control the sort of things that I internalize, if you know what I mean. But the more people talked about it, the more I got curious, and I watched it, and I was really, really deeply affected. And I have to say that even, you know, as Martin spoke about it, I just got really, really upset, because George was not resisting arrest. He was not struggling. At that point, it was not even a threat. So I have to say that it shocked me to my core. And this is the reason why, even though I'm a councillor in a predominantly white town, and I kind of understand that some people will be uncomfortable with me talking about race, but I had to speak out. And since then, I have been speaking out, irrespective of the fact that some people will be uncomfortable. And I know that these discussions can be really, really uncomfortable, but we have to talk about it. Because I saw, you know, Martin in myself. I saw George in myself, not just because he's Black, but also because, you know, his experiences really mirror some of the things that some of us have been through. People say that racial profiling, sometimes all these microaggressions, it's almost as if your mind is playing tricks on you. You think, no, I don't think that security man is really looking at me. And you kind of really think, but how is it possible that I've had such a really strict upbringing up until the moment I came to the United Kingdom to study, very strict religious upbringing. You cannot even steal a piece of biscuit from a classmate, you know, you'll be disciplined. And suddenly I'm seen as a threat. I cannot go to a shop peacefully to sort of like buy something with my own money. I literally have to be stalked. From the moment I get into the shop to the moment I leave, I literally have to be stalked. And this has continued for so many years, such that I've literally become so used to it. And sometimes I would just smile, you know, just trying to just sort of make light of the situation. But there was a particular day I decided to speak up. And on that particular day, it was quite obvious that in that shop, I was the only Black person, and I was literally just singled out. And this security man kept looking at the receipt, but he didn't find anything, nothing incriminating and all that. I was so uncomfortable because it was so obvious that he picked me out of, you know, every other person. And it was so obvious I was the only Black shopper. And then I asked him, what exactly are you looking for? You know, I paid, this is my trolley. And then he kept looking at it and looking at me. And then at the end, he didn't even say sorry for wasting my time, and he just asked me to go. And I said, well, I'm not leaving. I request that your manager comes and sort of like, I need to put in a complaint. So you've wasted my time for no absolute reason. You just racially profiled me. And I was so annoyed because at that point, that was the first time I had to speak out because I was so uncomfortable. And I just said to myself, well, this is no longer a joke. And I just said to myself that I really needed to speak out. So I called for his manager, because I think some of us, due to being immigrants, it is hard sometimes to realize that your rights as humans, you know, your human rights is the same as the next person who is white. So it's important that anytime we feel that we've been unfairly treated, we definitely must speak out. Look at the ID of that security man and write a report. Maybe you can go to the website of the company or something, or ask for the manager. And the manager came and then apologized and said there was absolutely no reason, because actually she recognized me as a regular shopper and said there is no reason why you should have been stopped, and apologized. And I was really, really upset that day. And I actually made up my mind that I was not going to go back into that shop to buy something. But I realized that this happens time and time again. You're seen as a threat just because of the color of your skin. And this also just ties into my experience on a particular day. I visited a friend. I thought it was a regular hospital. Then I realized there was a mental health hospital. I was shocked that majority of the people I saw were Black. And I was like, wow, I'm trying to understand why, even though we live in a multicultural society, and you go to a mental health hospital, the majority of the people who are there are Black. And I think this sort of like led to me trying to research it, and I actually realized that there are disparities in the mental health, you know, profiling, how people are locked up and things like that, because it was actually quite obvious that something really needed to be done. And this actually prompted me researching and finding out that even this charity Mind even published a paper in 2018 and made major recommendations about the disproportionate number of people from Black and ethnic minority that are detained under the Mental Health Act. It's just something about looking at our men, tall and muscular, as threats. You know, just something really has to be done about the stereotypes. Something really has to be done.
Thank you.